guys, it's Tanielle. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a special one for me because it's for all my fine hair sisters out there. I have for you 8 tips, things that I've learned in the last 7 months of being locked with fine and low density hair. Let's get right into it. Item number 1, your hair will lock. I had so many reservations about whether or not my hair would lock. I had 4 consultations. If you want to see about that experience, feel free to watch the videos linked in the description below. A lot of times when you have fine low density hair, you might think, oh my goodness, is my hair gonna lock? And it doesn't really make any sense, honestly, when you think about how many people who are, for example, Caucasian, who actually do have locked hair, that if your hair is fine, you might think that your hair won't lock, but absolutely your hair is gonna lock. You just need to be more patient. And then some people might have to be who have coarser hair, but girl, your hair is gonna lock. So if you really desire to have traditional locks or micro locks, which I'm more partial to, then go for it because your hair is gonna lock. But that leads me to item number 2. Your hair is probably gonna take longer to lock than most people's hair is gonna take to lock. I'm not talking like 6 months and your hair is gonna lock. 6 months your hair might be budding. Thankfully at 7 months my hair is budding, and I'll give you guys a video update along the way in this video. But you could expect for it to take anywhere between a year to even like 24 months in some instances for your hair to lock. I have one lock that's actually locked. It's in the very back, and the only reason why it's locked at this point is because it's one of the areas that actually got folded. A piece of hair got folded onto itself, and so it kind of didn't have a choice but to lock. She kind of like had the back comb in a little bit, and then it was one that hung way lower than the rest of them. So I'll show you guys what it looks like. If you've seen it in my videos, you've probably seen it already, but this is my little golden child here that actually has locked. But other than that, no. They're budding in some places. You can see that I have a lot of budding in some areas, which I'm super excited about. But the fact of the matter is, if your hair is fine, and especially if your hair is softer as well, it's gonna take longer to lock. So I would expect for it to take anywhere between a year and 24 months before you actually see some significant locking. Item number 3, reties, retwist are absolutely essential to battle slippage. If your hair is a softer texture, if it's a finer texture, and especially with lower density, in my opinion, you're going to need to go regularly to your loctician, anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks, and I would go based on what they recommend. Don't try to stretch out your reties, because you know what you're going to get, the S word. You're going to get slippage. Then your retie is going to take longer, and you're not going to save any money. I'll give you guys an example. I actually missed a month, and I ended up taking 7-8 weeks almost in between reties, and I'm only supposed to take 4 to 5 weeks in between reties. Instead of being there for 4 hours, I was there for 5.5 hours, which sucked. Not only because it took more time for me being there, but at the same time, it actually ended up costing more than if I had gone in at a regular interval like I was supposed to. If your hair is softer and it's of a lower density, please go to your retie visits or retie your own hair if you're one of our DIY sisters. I battle a lot with slippage in the back of my hair, just like plenty of women do battle with slippage in the back of their hair. But especially when your hair is a little bit softer, you might end up having that same problem. So that was item number 3. Regular reties are absolutely essential. Please don't slip on them. Unintended slippage. Y'all, don't boo me, please. As a matter of fact, while we're talking about that, please thumbs up this video if it's helping you so far. If these are things that maybe you didn't know or just needed a reminder of, I would appreciate it. Thumbs up in the videos actually helps more people see them. The YouTube algorithm is a funny thing, so it likes to see that you guys like the video by watching it all the way through, and then also by subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it. So thank you for that. All right, item number 4, lower manipulation is best. I have done quite a few videos up until this time. Not all of them have been published yet, but some of the videos I've done so far, I've done rollers, I've done flexi rods, and different things like that. Especially with the rollers, like the harder rollers, things that require pulling, that's gonna tend to reverse a lot of the progress that you have made in your hair, especially around your edges. Our edges our strands are not as thick, therefore they're not as strong, and you don't have as many of them per capita, right? So if you're gonna have less strands of hair that are smaller in diameter, they're not gonna be as strong, especially when you're pulling at them from a central point. Like for example, at this point here, okay? So the more that you pull on them, that can lead to things like thinning and also our S friend, slippage, especially along the back and along the edges. And I noticed that after I have done a few of those videos where I did a lot of manipulation with rollers and flexi rods and things like that, I ended up with a lot more slippage, and it ended up actually having a lot of sore spots in my scalp where there was pulling. Because it's more of a concentrated area that it's pulling from, you don't have as many strands if your hair is lower density, and then the strands are a smaller diameter, which means there's more pulling in a centralized location. So think about like a bigger, fatter rope is stronger and can withstand more weight and more stuff pulling on it than a smaller, skinnier rope that includes less strands. The pulling is going to be more concentrated. So my recommendation is that if your hair is fine and low density, you do not have a lot of manipulating styles. Now, of course, that's not to say that you can't do any of those type of styles, but the more you do them, just know the more stress is going to put on your hair. That might not be able to withstand that stress as much as a person with hair that's a higher density and that is not as fine. Item number 5 is you have got to braid and band your hair. Now listen. I don't want to braid and band my hair either. And thankfully we have less hair. And so since we have less strands of hair and the strands are smaller, you probably aren't going to have to do as many braids as some other women are if your hair is finer and low density. But you have to. If you need somebody, we can Zoom call and we can braid and band together. But I'm telling you, you have got to braid and band your hair when you're washing it. I know I've seen videos. There's some YouTubers that I love to watch, and they're like, all I do is go in the shower and I just wash my locks, girl. I don't braid and band. Yeah, but you have a whole lot of hair. And also they might have started their locks differently, or they may be in a different stage than you are with your locks. But it is essential if your hair is fine, and especially if it's a finer and lower density combined, to braid and band your hair. I have a whole video about braiding and banding and how I do it. If you want to kill two birds with one stone, you can actually go ahead and braid it into a braid out. If you want to do it and kill two birds with one stone, you can actually braid your hair into a braid out style. Go ahead and get your hair braided, but make it looser at the roots. Wash your roots of your hair, because that's what you're trying to cleanse anyway. And then you could remove the bands from the bottom and add rollers and let it dry that way. That way, at least you already have it into somewhat of a style, and you didn't have to manipulate your hair twice. You get some curly locks out of it, which is something that is always cute, I think. Okay, item number 6, embrace the frizz. We're gonna have frizz. Look at my hair now. It's got frizz. I used to fight the frizz. I used to be like, oh, I don't know, what can I do to get rid of the frizz? You know what? I've learned that frizz makes my hair look fuller, which, as much as I love and I'm okay with the way that my hair is, hair so fine hair don't care. But sometimes you do want your hair to look fuller. Our hair tends to sit a little bit flatter onto the head. But to me, embracing that frizz and the fullness that it offers is part of me embracing my hair and how it is. Especially if you're at the beginning stages of having your microlocks, you go from those fine, like see-through looking locks to fluffier locks. But along the way to budding, you're going to end up with some frizz. Another way that you can fight the frizz or tame it just a little bit is using a t-shirt to dry your hair instead of using a towel. That's an old natural hair trick that I actually learned from Natural 85 back in the day. That way you end up with a little bit less frizz, but for overall you're gonna have some. Okay, last but not least, stay away from things that have prongs, that have combs, or any of those things. I did a video recently with my sister where she talked about getting through the ugly stage of locks, and some people will say, oh, there's not an ugly phase, and she's one of those people who doesn't believe there's an ugly phase. But I think everybody goes through a phase where they might not be happy with their lock journey. And so you might tend to want to do things like wear wigs, which is totally fine. But I would implore you to stay away from things that have those combs and prongs along the ends. They hook underneath your locks and they can pull your hair. They can also cause slippage and breakage and thinning around the edges of your hair. That's something that goes for, of course, us fine hair ladies, because again, our strands tend to be a lot more fragile and we have less of them. But just for anybody who's locked in general, prongs, combs, any of those things that might come on wigs or be in cute little clips and stuff like that. The only thing that I put in my hair at this point is I just put in bobby pins, and sometimes I use those like hair clips that clip on that clip back and forth and that are decorative, and I usually do that on top of my locks. I don't do that close to my scalp because you can end up with areas of thinning right along the edges. But that's all I have for you guys today. Those are some tips that I would say, especially for my fine hair, low density ladies, ways that you can improve your lock journey and make it easier on yourself. In the last 7 months, I have enjoyed this lock journey so much. And I actually have a video coming up soon, my 7-month lock update. So I'm so excited to show you guys some comparisons of from month 1 all the way up to month 7 through pictures, and I'll give some narrative about things that I went through. So look forward to that video. I appreciate you guys watching as usual. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos, especially concerning ladies with locks with fine low density hair. Until next time, ladies, bye mamas.